my Telegram, doing what I do, and I had a idea, well, not even an idea, but I had a thought that I wanted to put out here. When it comes, first of all, there's a couple things I want to establish. There is no such thing as passport bros and then just black men in travel. Look, I'm not saying that any black man has. First of all, a hashtag is a hashtag, and that's all that it is. It's designed to aggregate black men, bring together black men who like to travel. This is not the Black Panthers. This is not, whatever. Like, for instance, let me give you an example. Do you understand how ridiculous it is for people to say, "Oh, I'm not a interracial dater. I just like to expand my options." Do you understand how goofy that is? There is no, you either do it or you don't. If you're like, for instance, this idea that, this is not the main topic, but this idea that there's a good way to date outside your race, this is a lie. This is a lie. We've seen many times where black men date outside their race and don't even say nothing about black women. In fact, the only thing they got to say about black women are kind words. And they're still looked at the exact same. Some dudes like Chris Brown are given passes, but they're still looked at the exact same as black men that date outside their race. It's a distinction without a difference. So all you Negroes, all you black men that are sitting here talking about, I'm not a passport bro, I'm a good traveler. You all are fucking idiots, and I'm just gonna say it just like that. Because you all grew up in this community, you know good and goddamn well why these chicks are mad. You know good and goddamn well that it's either you're doing it or you're not doing it. Now, there is no good way to do something that they don't like, because they believe they own you. So you talking, so even, it's one thing for y'all not to say nothing, and for y'all to say that's what they doing over there, whatever. But for y'all to go out of y'all way and try to make these little declarations, y'all are fucking morons. I mean, I want to be nice about it, but really, y'all know that they don't give a fuck about that. Right. Like, y'all do realize that shit don't matter, right? Because some of y'all be really out here believing that y'all, it's like you telling a racist white person that you're a good black man. Like, what was that? Remember that incident that happened with Obama early in Obama's term? I forget what his name is, but he's done some documentaries. But he was like a Harvard professor, and then or a professor at Princeton or one of these Ivy League schools, like one of the bigger ones, even of the Ivy League. And then he was trying to get in his house, and then the white cop, just a random white cop, or somebody called the cops or whatever, knowing, by the way, the neighbor knew a black person lived there. And then he got checked, and Obama wanted to play the have a beer bullshit. Have a beer bullshit, knowing good and goddamn well what those intentions were that cop was. I don't care. Because if it was a white person, the cop, that shit would have never happened. And that is the fucking problem right there, which everybody just doesn't want to address. But yeah. But that's the same, that dude being a professor and doing all that shit didn't matter. What about the guy Ryan Coogler, the director of Black Panther, when he got caught up? That was a Jamaican sister, I believe, that called the cops on him. At the because he's famous and he didn't want to be seen. You got white boys that they be looking raggedy as hell all the time, especially, so I'm talking about celebrities that run that. You see pictures of what they look like. They don't always be GQ'd up. They don't. Right? So my point is, and those same outcomes never happen. You never hear stories like that where they're just randomly getting called, because at the end of the day, they're white, right? But my point is, that's the same thing y'all are doing. Where I've always said that black women look at black men through the eyes of white men. Even from a sexual standpoint, they got this sexual thing with black men that they want to own they view black men as sexual objects. They really do. This is why, unless their panties are melting off, a lot of these chicks ain't trying to deal with a lot of these dudes. Now, do you see them really have those same metrics for any other race of men? No, because them other races are validating their femininity because these women hate being black. And a lot of how black women act towards black men is a projection of their hatred of them being black in this society, which is a fucking personal problem. And so now that they see that black men don't have to deal with them, just the idea, remember, just the idea of a black man with Kevin Samuels, just the idea of a black man with Kevin Samuels, like Kevin Samuels, that could say what he thought, bothered these chicks. Because these chicks have fucking mental problems. It aggravates them when it really should. It's social media, they don't have to listen to him. But just the fact that he exists, it's almost like a white dude. The fact that a black man exists bothered some of these white dudes. Because they understand that deep down, they are not as dominant as they think they are. That shit bothers them on a mental fucking... This is why white dudes can be poor, but if white dudes see and not care if other white people are poor, but they see the black men doing better, they just can't handle it a lot of times. Black women get a lot of that shit for them. I don't give a fuck. This is not an excuse. I don't give a damn about the whys. I'm just telling you why it is what it is. But I don't give a damn about, you know, oh, well, we need to save them. No, fuck that, because they made their own choices. That's on them. Right? So my point is, and this wasn't even the main point to talk about, but I just wanted to highlight that because you got a lot of dudes, they actually believe that they make a YouTube channel declaring shit. It doesn't matter. Because if you're, the point is, it doesn't matter. I've already explained it. It does not matter. And a lot of y'all, I think y'all really believe that shit matters. It doesn't. And maybe y'all need to be reminded that it don't matter. It don't. Like Zoom to Thailand don't be talking shit about black women, and they try to go after his ass all the same. Because the way that they see, you having a passport is an attack on their ability to control black men. Period. It's an attack. And they won't, no matter what, they will not never see it that way. So this idea that y'all, so if y'all want to solve the problem, y'all either need to shut your YouTube channels down and just don't talk about it, or just don't travel. That's what they want. That's what they want. So that's the first thing. That's the thing I want to get out the way, but that's not even the main thing. The main thing I wanted to talk about though was we got to have certain, what I want to call it marketing objectives, but we have to have a certain amount of campaign objectives. What does that mean? A lot of what happens is black women say some dumb shit and then we counter that shit. Our goal, our job mainly is to communicate with other black men. Really, we don't, the black manosphere, the fucking, any of these, that's why, whatever these, any of these like things, you know, thought organizations, whatever, it was never designed to communicate with women or change women. It wasn't. Purple Pill is designed to communicate with women. Red Pill organizations are not, or Red Pill like ideologies are not designed to communicate with women. They're designed to communicate with men. This is why when women come into these spaces, they think it's so hostile because it's not meant for them. And women are used to everything being catered to them. They're used to every little thing being catered to them and their and how they see things. Women used to say public school was hostile to them because it was more catered to males. Now school is hostile to males because it's catered to females. And it's definitely hostile to heterosexual males. The book, all of that. And you can go, this is why when women like to make these little jokes talking about what men used to be men. Well, men were encouraged to be so. And so now y'all come in the back end. Like, it's really fucked up, like, when you really understand that they don't even understand what the fuck they're saying. They're raising males to be what they are and then bitch about what the results are. The level of lack of accountability for the state as well as them, man, that shit's crazy. Again, look at BGS video, the end of the beginning of the white gynocracy, where he talks about how the white gynocracy is already here. So you already know black men are fucked up, and really a lot of men are just in denial of it. But we gotta have what I call, yeah, it's got to be a better term for it, but campaign objectives. I don't want to call it propaganda because we don't really lie, but marketing objectives. So, for example, objective number 1. Well, what we've been doing is just countering what women are saying. That, it has its value, but we got to do something other than that too. Number 1, We need to start getting a hold of these damn keywords that have to do. That's something the Black Manosphere has always done a terrible job at. Shout out to O'Shea and his website he had, because I think he did the best at this. But we got to start getting a hold of these keywords. That's just, and these are not in any form of importance. We got to start getting a hold of these keywords and getting like on Google and other places. That's number one. And start flooding it that with the truth. And I don't mean just flooding it with just bullshit. I mean like really breaking down like myths of the 10 myths that they say about Passport Bros. What's the reality of dudes traveling? But anyway, shit like that. That's number one. Number two is we got to start, every time black women lie on us, we got to tell the truth about them. We don't need to lie on them. The truth is already fucked up. Number one. And so within that, what are these things? Number one, black women travel more than black men. Black women sex tour more than black men. Black women been sex tourism. That shit needs to get put out there. We need examples, evidence, all of that. Same stuff we've been doing in Canada shit. We need to put that out there. We also need to basically tell the truth as to why black women are doing what they're doing. The real reason as to why. They don't give a fuck. The same bitches they call dirty feet are the same bitches all of a sudden they give a fuck about, and they want to say dudes are being predators. I saw a TikTok channel. This is a new TikTok channel. This motherfucker trying to make, black men are not even in China like that. African American men, that's mainly African men. And yet it's always it's a black man that's been sentenced to death in China. Let's be clear here, motherfuckers are not going, nobody's going to China to do the shit. Like y'all talk about niggas are tricking, niggas are doing this, niggas are doing this. Niggas are not going to China to do that. What are you talking about? So they're just throwing shit out there. And we know what it is. They're desperate. They're desperate. They can't find none of these chicks are attractive. You notice how none of these chicks are attractive that are talking all this shit? None of them are really attractive like that. Most, like, seriously. They're scared. And when an animal does something that's scared, well, you know how they act. They get their most vicious. And that's what it is. So, fuck. Shit's getting hot. But yeah, but like I was saying, I'm going up in here for a second. We got to start having certain objectives that we want to complete. We don't need to go this year. And then turn around and then, we're doing the same shit. Because really, there's a lot of stuff to be said. We need to start breaking down books like The Pursuit of Happiness and shit like that. And like I said, we need to start completing these objectives. I'll probably think about these things and write these things down, because I think there's about 5 or 6 good ones that we can do. And then we need to start really pushing out. That's what needs to get done between the folks that are on TikTok as well as the folks that are on here. Because if we have like objectives that other people can deal with, then, certain people can take on the mantle of some of those objectives. And so a lot of people, because really their objective, I already know what their objective is. They're not doing this in a very organized way, but their objective is to make the name Passport Bro so toxic that a black man is afraid to be associated with it. And then they're trying to make it so a black man, and there's certain dudes that are falling for that. And then there's dudes that they want to make it so dudes don't even want to travel. That is literally what they're trying to do. Another thing too is we need to have a better understanding as to, we do need to have I'm not going to say a separation, but there does need to be a compartmentalization of what dudes are doing. And when I say that is, first of all, let me say this too. This idea of, well, you're not looking for a wife, you bitches are not looking for husbands. So let's get that like straight like that. Black women will outwardly say, I don't want to be married, and think that's a commentary on men. No, that's a commentary on you. You don't want to be married because the dudes that you would like to be married to, you don't qualify for. That's facts. And we're not even talking about, let me say this and let me be very clear here. Most of you women today don't qualify for average men. Y'all don't. Y'all really don't. If you were to actually look at if you were to actually look at the United States as a general marketplace, black men are 6% of the population. Meaning if you're a black man and you can operate on what I would call white, economic white averages, which about 35% of black men can, then that would really mean you all don't really qualify for, most of y'all don't qualify for marriage. Y'all don't. And the ones that do are an exception to the rule. The other thing is, if you would look at black men as African American men as a consequence to the global population, y'all definitely don't qualify. That's a fact. That's a fact. So when we sit here and we're playing, and well, what about men? Well, men accept that if they don't qualify for something, they can't get it. Men are not men are not in the manosphere, the black manosphere. In the black manosphere, we're not really bitching about, oh man, you're not fucking certain people. That's not what's going on. What's going on is you all are throwing black men under the bus because you all are not getting the outcomes you want from a community level and a lot of other levels. And pretty much we're pretty much doing a counter narrative as to you don't get what you get because of shit you do, not because of who black men are. Because that's essentially what they're saying. Black women are constantly saying they don't get what they get because I'm not white. And then they just use black men as this like metaphor for that. Black men don't do this, black men don't do that. Well, my thing is, if black men are all this, don't do shit, why the fuck are you still having kids with them? And y'all till this day are. No, I'm about to end this video. This video wasn't meant to be long anyway. Shout out to Machismo. You're spot on with campaign. They only have like 10 talk about, do we need the rebuttal infographic? Yeah, we need, and that's another thing. And I'm not telling other people, I'm talking about me. JC, women are, because for a couple of reasons. Because what you do is you show that in real, there's a couple of reasons to have women on the panel. You have women on the panel because number one, you have dudes that if it don't come out of a woman's mouth, it's not valid. That's the problem with a lot of black men. That's number one. Number two, a lot of times if you hear them verbally, you can realize that it's one thing to say some shit on a video. It's another thing to have an actual interactive conversation where you got to go back and forth. And what you notice is most of these women can't do that. Most of these women have to be in absolute control of the conversation. They have to have a conversation where it just sit there and they can just sit there and just spout off their shit. But when they have to actually validate the shit that they're saying, they can't do it. Shout out to Marty McFly. Make sure y'all sub him. He's a perfect example of that, of showing that. You got women that'll have everything to say about Passport Bro. Same bitch to talk about, yeah, black women are doing the same shit. It's not a big deal when women are doing it. And this idea that they say you're not going over there looking for wives. The reality is black men are multifaceted. Black men are multifaceted. Black men can be looking for pussy and find a chick that they want to marry. That these binary things only apply to black men. The reality is dudes don't have to travel to look for wives. You could be a dude that travels in your 20s and have fun, and be a dude later on that travels in your 30s and maybe you looking to settle down. That's like saying that if a dude is fucking a bitch here, oh, you don't intend for her to be a wife. Do you understand how fucking retarded that is? In a country like this that wants to be all sexual liberated, as much as where black women's pussy has been, and they sitting there and this is just bitch babble. It really is. But what it is this anger. A lot of dudes are getting scared of it. That's really what it is. And I just want y'all to leave me alone. Y'all are making a blood cut. Fuck that. Because if they not going to be angry about this, they going to be angry about something else. The truth is, you can't even date outside your race here. And the thing is, I'm not really, oh man, date outside your race. But the reality, this is not even about that. This is about black men's freedom to do what the fuck they want to do. And women trying to basically, why they don't do shit, trying to enforce what they think black men can do. This is how you know BGS was right, where black women depended on other races, mainly white men, to activate Jim Crow. You again, you're starting to see how evil these women are. This is evil that's coming up. I want y'all to really understand that. These women hate black men, and it's coming up. These women can't even get another race of man and just be good. You got women that will get another race of man and still hate on black men. And I love it. I want this shit to go nuclear. I want y'all to understand what my intentions are so dudes can understand what I'm talking about. I want this shit to go nuclear. I just want, so all y'all that's on that, man, I don't want the block hot, nigga, I want this shit to go nuclear. That's where I want it to go. So y'all are not gonna like me. I want this shit to go nuclear. This ain't no, oh man, I just hope they chill out. No, I want it to go nuclear. That's what I want. I want it to go all the way. All the way. I want to see how much this black female hate this black female. Because first of all, we're not purposely pissing them off. That's between them and the algorithm. That's what y'all need to understand. Black men are just communicating with other black men, and when black men do talk to black women, it's responding to the lies that they're telling about us. These women are very cavalier with wanting to say, like, I saw a bitch, right, that she was sitting there, it's a new TikTok channel, and she was trying to basically show pictures, not evidence, not news reports, but pictures to prove that black men are dealing with younger chicks. And it was a younger looking Asian chick. But the reality is, I remember one of the first chicks I talked to in the Philippines, and I thought she looked young. I was 27 years old. I thought she looked young. That's not why I talked to her, but it was like, oh, because she came to talk to me. That bitch was 38 years old. That bitch was 38 years old. See, black women think black don't crack, Asian don't crack either, and Asians ain't got all the processed foods that black people have all the time. So, like, these Asians do be looking, a lot of times these Asian chicks, they don't be young, but they be looking like that. And it's like black women think only black don't crack. And really, that's assuming you eating right. So this idea, like, so even if a chick does look like she's 22, 23, that chick could be 28, 29. So they're looking at everything from their point of view. And so what they're saying is, oh, you dealing with, like for real, like, because in the black community, if you deal with chicks 22, 23, as far as you concerned, you a predator if you old enough. Exactly. Jenny Ma is like 41, and she looks like she's like 30, 32. Like, for real. Exactly, Xanatos. So again, and you know, and here's the truth. Black women, other than visiting, black women ain't really going to Asia to be dealing with no dudes. Not like that. They gonna go South America, Europe, Africa. So, of course, they not gonna have a fucking clue as to how that works. So, no. No, no, no. But that's what they gonna say. So she out here showing pictures. Look how young she look. That this bitch won't show her face. Look how young she look. They're predators. They're this. And I'm like, bitch, that ain't gonna stop shit, yo. It really ain't. It really ain't. Because all that's gonna do is that's gonna make dudes start telling the truth about what the fuck y'all doing. What the fuck y'all out here. Oh, look at this man. That he's sentenced to death in China, whatever. The reality is, you ain't gonna talk about that Shanquella situation where they executed that chick down there. Other African Americans. You're not gonna talk about that. Y'all real quiet on that shit. Like I said, y'all want to tell the truth about y'all. Like these little spats y'all be having with other groups, because y'all be wanting to fight, and y'all think y'all can export that bullshit in somebody else's territory. But anyway, with that being said, food for thought. This is Edward signing off.